I'm Alex Maglev from Board Game Co, and this is News and Week in Review, where we're going to dive into a variety of news pieces, the videos of the week, the games I've covered, all of that and more. No creator spotlight this week, no particular reason, honestly. I'm running really short on time today and trying to get this video in before I run out of time. Also, I'm specifically doing this video like as last minute as possible because apparently there's so much news going on these days that I don't want to film a video on Wednesday only to have it miss important things that happened on Thursday or Friday. So we're being a little last minute until things calm down a bit more in the board game space. But that said, let's go ahead and dive into the news. We are going with the sandwich method today. We're going to have a little bit of good stuff, some of the various terror stuff to go into, no major disasters, at least nothing new if you've been watching my channel, and then we'll end with some good things, including a possible free game for you. Not like legitimately a possible free game for you. Well, we'll get to it, or just check the timestamps. We'll start off first, though, with Heroes Might and Magic. Heroes of Might and Magic from Modiphius Entertainment. They are doing an RPG. So if you are an RPG player and if you want Heroes of Might and Magic, that is a thing that will be coming to Kickstarter May 6th. From there, we're going to dive straight into the Terror stuff, unfortunately. Again, few just reference articles. I think they're worth reading. If there's one article I think is really worth reading, this article from Catalyst Game Labs over here, from Lauren Coleman and Catalyst Game Labs, so well done. I really think this is an excellent article, educational, well put, really covers a lot of things. If you are going to take the time to read anything from any of the things I'm suggesting, this is the one I would most recommend. There's a lot of great stuff out there. This is probably one of my favorite ones that I've read. Then we also have from Bitewing Games, another article. Again, an excellent article. If there's a second article to read, this might be the second. I'd have to. There's been a lot of good stuff out there, so I don't know if for sure this is the second, but it's well done. It's a well done article from Bitewing Games, covering the Tariffs as well, so definitely check this out if you have time for a second article. I think it's worth checking out. From there, we have a Board Game Wire covering Boardlandia shutting down. I covered this earlier this week in a dedicated video. You can check that out as well. Was it earlier this week? Yeah, I think so. This week. Time's going crazy right now. But anyways, Boardlandia unfortunately shut down. They do cite Tariffs, but not in a blame way, almost like a final straw way. Like, they don't say, hey, we're shutting down because of Tariffs. They kind of say that the Tariffs add an unsustainable burden on top of whatever issues they have been going through, their existing challenges. So, you can check out their statement, you can check out my video, you can read the Board Game Wire article, all of that and more. We have CMON. This has been all over the various Facebook spaces, but CMON basically announced layoffs and will stop all future game development and crowdfunding efforts. They are not shutting down, at least not from what I can see over here, as well as not from what I can see of the various campaigns that I've backed that I've gotten updates on the past few days. It looks like things are still moving forward as far as delivery. Their goal is to focus on delivery and to just put things on pause, and then once things are better, both in terms of the Terror space as well as catching up on campaigns, at that point they will hopefully go back to continuing to put out new games and campaigns. So I mean, it's one of those tricky, again, if you want kind of more of a deep dive into it, you can check out my weekly live. While it was not the topic, it happened. My weekly live this week happened right after the news came out, so it kind of became one of the topics of the conversation. But my short thoughts on it are definitely a lot of reasons to be concerned here if you're a backer. Also, I'm still optimistic that things will work out. I guess still from both, talking about the company as well as seeing things here, it does seem like they're focusing on delivering, not walking away. So assuming campaigns continue to come in while they temporarily stop selling new things, that's a good overall picture. It means they don't need to sell new things to deliver the old things. This is all very contingent upon the old things actually starting to deliver, but if they can get a few deliveries in, it will very much reassure a lot of people to continue, I guess, confidence in future CMON projects, but that will take some time because with all the news going on, there's definitely some shaken faith. Past that, we have Stonemaier Games. We are suing the president. You can read it on Stonemaier Games. You can read a bunch of other articles, Board Game Wire, Polygon, wherever. But Stonemaier Games is suing the president. This is one of those things where, like, I've read through this. I think it's worth a read, again, if you have time and all that. But I do think that, not much will come out of this. But that said, I'm not against it happening, I guess, if that makes sense. So check this out. Certainly interesting, certainly headline worthy. Don't know if I actually expect anything to happen on this particular one. And then we end with the good news. See, sandwich. We start with the good, I guess, sort of good. I mean, I don't actually care about RPGs, but maybe you do. Then we go to the Tariff stuff, and then we come with the two good news over here. We have, first of all, Assassin's Creed Animus is going to be coming to you from Mantic Games. They're launching Assassin's Creed Animus, which is a new Assassin's Creed game, not a lot of gameplay details just yet, more to come supposedly. But you can see the picture over here. They definitely seem to be covering a few of the Assassin's Creed franchises, which is certainly nice. I'm currently playing through Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I hope they have stuff from there and there, because honestly, Odyssey is probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game I've played in a while. It kind of feels like a mix of Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, and I like both those franchises, so this kind of works for me. Outside of that, and lastly, your free game is Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven is free for the next 2 months, a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. I think when does it say it ended? There was a time, but it ends at some point. You got time. You got June 18th. You got time to claim this game. But if you are a Amazon Prime member, you can go ahead and grab. I was going to say gather and grab, and said glab. I don't know where the L came from. But if you can go ahead and grab Gloomhaven, if you want to check that out. If you don't already have it, you can check out Gloomhaven or grab it for a friend probably. I don't know how it exactly works as far as linking. Usually on Amazon, it links to your Epic account. So I don't know if you can really grab it for a friend. You can grab it for your Epic account if you don't already have one. Honestly, even if you already have one on Steam, certainly doesn't hurt to get another copy. That way, if there's ever a time when you and whoever else shares your computer wants to play it at the same time, you actually could. It might be rare, but hey, it's like 2 clicks to get it, so why not? So Gloomhaven free till June 18th for Amazon Prime members. I think there's a thing about trying it out as well. If you're not a member, you can easily grab a free trial with the button below, download your game, and then stay subscribed or not. So you can get a free Amazon Prime membership trial, and then just cancel it later in case you want to get Gloomhaven for free. I do recommend it, by the way. I've enjoyed playing a lot of Gloomhaven Digital. Gloomhaven is one of those games where I've given it a lot of time. I've gotten what I want out of it. I don't feel the need to continue to go back to it, but I've spent hundreds of hours in the Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, Jaws of the Lion franchises, so it's definitely a lot there to enjoy. And that is what we have as far as our various news pieces, which means it is time to go ahead and dive into the videos of the week. As I said, no creator highlight this week. Hopefully we'll be back next week with one of those. I like to actually go into it a bit and not just be like, hey, here's this person I like, or things that games I play, or who knows what. But to go ahead and continue forward with the videos of the week, the videos that we had this past week are as follows. On Sunday, we had Ranking 17 Board Game Arena games. This is as part of a new ongoing series where every 2 months or so, I will basically go over all the new Board Game Arena games I have played, the ones that I will almost certainly not be playing in person, and just tell you, hey, I've played these random games on Board Game Arena. Here are my thoughts on them. I have discovered some gems that way. In fact, oh my gosh, the newest one I've just played, I guess I'll tell you, why not? It might show up in another Board Game Arena ranking video. It might show up in a physical copy video because I'm certainly getting a physical copy. But Pirates of Maracaibo, I just played it for the first time in Board Game Arena. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I really like it. I still haven't played Maracaibo. I have Maracaibo, have not played it. I don't have Pirates of Maracaibo, and I need to go out and buy it because I really enjoyed my first play of it, and I only understand about 80% of the rules so far. I need to properly read the rulebook. The tutorial was great, but I still need to read the rulebook. But I really like Pirates of Maracaibo, and anyways, my video on Sunday was ranking 17 Board Game Arena games. When you play random games that you haven't played before on Board Game Arena, you will find a lot of duds. You will also find a lot of hidden gems. So, or you could just watch my video and see which ones I thought were duds and hidden gems. Does not mean they will be that for you, but it's certainly a good starting point. From there, we also have Two Back or Not to Back went up on Monday. Relatively short week, nothing too crazy. I don't even know what next week's Two Back or Not to Back is going to be yet, so I don't know how short or not short it is yet. On Wednesday, we had a surprise video of Boardlandia shutting down, once again pushing off the top 10 disappointments video for another time. It was actually then supposed to be Friday, but I decided to do a different video Friday. Disappointments is coming. Maybe the trick is, here's the real thing, okay? Because I've been saying for a few weeks now that the top 10, or top 15 is actually, top 15 disappointments video is coming soon. I've been saying that for like 3 weeks straight. Maybe the real joke is that the disappointment is you'll never, ever get it. But otherwise, it's probably coming next week. Anyways, Boardlandia shutting down was Wednesday's video. Just going over it again, just talking about the space we're in right now. You can watch that video. The reason I did that video is primarily talking about the weird balance between how tariffs are going to become a catch-all excuse for anyone going through anything right now, but also they're probably a part of what people are going through, so definitely take that into account, and you do you, but it's kind of a conversation about the nature of when you choose between judgment, grace, when you choose between you won't get this over me versus, you know, it probably sucks to be you right now. There's a weird balance between how we approach different things, and no matter the extent of how bad the tariffs are for people in the board game industry, it's certainly not great. That's for sure. And for people who are like gamers, for individual gamers, it's not going to be a huge issue. The worst case situation for a gamer is that your games are going to get more expensive. And for many of us, we probably have too many games anyway, and having fewer games is not the worst outcome. It's not the gamers who I'm the most concerned about in this, although of course that's not entirely true, because when a company shuts down when they were supposed to give you a game, that certainly is an effect. I mean more in terms of future decisions. But it's not the greatest. Anyways, that was Boardlandia's video on Wednesday. Then we also had on Thursday, we had the weekly live. Like I said, this is just a general Q&A that I was doing, but it definitely did become very focused around CMON, because it had been announced 2 hours earlier that CMON was going on a semi-permanent hiatus of new games. Not delivering, but new games. Again, time will tell. As soon as the next few deliveries show up, that will be a lot, there'll be a lot to that. Until that happens, we're all just crossing our fingers and hoping for the best. Then we have how to price a game. This is a video that went up on Friday. Definitely recommend checking it out. It was not the best as far as like, this is one of those times where I wish I was better at editing. It's very rare that I actually care about the editing. I'm like, talk about games, I show you the games. Sure, I always wish there were better B-roll, but like, it's not the end of the world. At least for me, it's not the end of the world. This is one of those times where I wish I could do like a fully edited, like, you know, scrawling on a whiteboard video, because I really wanted to. Like, I did my best I could. Feedback seems to have been generally positive, but I certainly wish I could do it even better, because this is a video about the nature of how to price a game, how publishers price their games, and then also how tariffs roll into that price, and especially why it's not so easy to just pass that cost on to the customer. Meaning, something I've seen as a regular question over the past several weeks is, hey, okay, great, so the cost of your game is $10, 145% tariff means there's an extra $14 to that cost. So why is the game going from, in that case, if that's the case, then your $60 game should go from $60 to $75, and publishers keep talking about how it has to go to, you know, $100 or more, or it has to be $150, or how it's not sustainable. This just sounds like it's more expensive. Why is it not sustainable? So my goal with this video was to break down the pricing, as well as the general nature of how things work when you're talking about the nature of having a publisher, the manufacturer, the distributor, the game store, all the various people involved in the equation, and why passing the tariff directly from the front all the way to the end is not as simple as you might think. That was the goal of the video. From the feedback, I think I did a decent enough job with it, although again, one of the few times I actually wish I was better at editing, because the message to me is very important here, and if anything I could do to make that message even better, well, I'd prefer that. Those are the videos of the week, which brings us to the games I covered this past week. Obviously, I covered 17 Board Game Arena games, but I didn't want to list them all in this section over here, so check out that video if you want that. But I did do on Saturday a review for Beacon Patrol as well as the expansion. Really enjoyed Beacon Patrol, really enjoyed the expansion. Not a forever game for me, not by a long shot. I filmed that review a while ago and it's actually already left, but I really do enjoy Beacon Patrol. I've played it a whole bunch. I played the expansion even more. I think it's a great game. There are reasons why it's not a forever game for me. Then we had a review for Dragons of Etchinstone, which I like the newer version of it better. I believe I gave Dragons of Etchinstone a 3.5 out of 5, but it is higher than my last time that I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. The nature of having a half-point scale does mean that there's room for nuance even within a rating range. I like what Chip Theory is doing with Dragons of Etchinstone. I like the expansion. I'm curious about the Siege expansion. It has moved from a 3.5 that I didn't keep to a 3.5 that I want to hold on to, at least for now, specifically because I have very few games that are actually that travel-friendly. Then we have Santorini, the newer version of Santorini 2nd Edition. I reviewed that on Tuesday. I think Santorini is fantastic. Apparently, I've never reviewed it on the channel, which I'm surprised by, but I fixed that because the 2nd edition came out, and I reviewed it this week, so check that out. I think it's a fantastic game. I got a little lost playing against myself in that game, but it's that kind of experience. We also had a review for Mycelia, going up from Burnt Island Games, if I'm not mistaken, and Mycelia, unfortunately, did not land for me. I didn't love the game experience. I thought it was an okay area control game that was not immediately intuitive as far as the playability, and not particularly satisfying as far as strategy. It was a bit more of a pass for me. I also reviewed Everdell Duo. Everdell Duo I gave a 3.5 out of 5, although I did say that rating might be a little harsh and unfair. Now, to be fair, a 3.5 is not a harsh rating, but it might be that Everdell Duo is better than a 3.5. The tricky part is sometimes when you're comparing a game to another game that's basically the same thing, it's hard to be as favorable to that, because when I look at Everdell's an amazing game. It's a 5 out of 5 game for me. I love Everdell. And when I look at Everdell Duo, it's mostly the same, but it's just worse. But that doesn't bump it down to a 4 in terms of the way I think of my rating scale and my desire to play things. That bumped it down to a 3.5. There we go. That bumped it down to a 3.5 in the sense that it's probably a 4. It's probably a 4. But for me, with the way I assign, because every one of my ratings has an actual meaning to it. and because of that, it's unfairly a 3.5 because it has a better game that exists right next to it that is similar and yet better for me. Ultimately, I think Everdell Duo, the 2-player version of Everdell, I don't think was as good, and the campaign I did not find particularly engaging, which meant to me it was just a worse version of Everdell. Then later on Thursday, I had a five first impressions. Was that Thursday or Friday? Where are we up to? No, that was Tuesday. Tuesday was Everdell Duo, which brings us to Thursday. Thursday, I had 5 first impressions of 5 games: Perch, Brass Empire, Nestlings, Koska, and Strange Forgeries. From those, Perch was fine. It wasn't particularly amazing, wasn't particularly bad. Honestly, all of these fall into that same category. Brass Empire was a game that felt like it was trying to straddle the line between an economic deck builder and a fighter deck builder, and did neither one particularly amazing. Nestlings, didn't particularly love it. I felt it was way too simple as far as the actions you're taking. Koska was interesting. Costco was probably the most interesting. No, actually, no. Strange Forgers was the most interesting. Costco was fine, but it had some interesting aspects, but I thought it was not variable enough as far as the kind of mob theme going on where you're trying to take control of things. But again, it didn't feel variable enough as you played through it. And then Strange Forgeries was easily my favorite, with the caveat that the rulebook is so bad that even though I knew how to play it, I barely was able to learn it. And really, I think in a lot of areas it needs a streamlined version, which fortunately I believe they are having one. So I think I'm looking forward to the second edition of that one, not the first edition. But the concept was great. I've played it, I've had a lot of fun with it. There's just a lot of flags or issues with it. And then later on Thursday, I did an unboxing of Apex Legends together with my son. It is adorable, and yet well, I'm biased, but I think it's adorable, and it's certainly chaotic. So if you're not here for some degree of chaos, if you're here for like an informational unboxing, first of all, you shouldn't be watching my unboxings to begin with. But if you at least like my unboxings and ramblings, this is more the chaos. But for some people, they enjoy it, some people they don't. But I enjoy spending time with my kids, which is why I do find the opportunity to do them, even so. So anyways, that's Apex Legends on Thursday. Which brings us to today. Today we're going to have 2 reviews going up later. Well, one a preview. We have a preview and a review. We have a AV Ghost preview going up later today. That is an upcoming crowdfunding campaign where you basically have to turn on a flashlight and hunt things down in the light of the flashlight. It's pretty cool. It's pretty thematic. And then we have a review going up, a 12x12 review for Revive. Revive is a fantastic game that I have reviewed the base game and the expansion. I'm doing a 12x12 review, which I haven't done one in a while, but basically Revive is the 12x12 review format is a format where I cover every aspect or mode of play of the game. So every expansion, every player count, a solo, non-solo, modules, the campaign, basically everything you could possibly do. So if you want to see a full review of Revive, check that out. And then lastly, coming up, well, I guess second lastly, next week we have a few things going up. We will hopefully have the top 15 disappointments of 2024. I don't know what to do if I push this video off again. I don't know. Here's the deal. If I push this video off again, I'm just going to stop telling you it's coming. It's going to disappear. And maybe it shows up one day, maybe it doesn't, but I'm going to stop telling you. And then we also have games leaving the collection for the month of April that will also be showing up, hopefully, towards the end of next week. Which brings us to the games on the table. Games on the table, as usual, these are games that I hope to be playing, or in some cases have already been playing, actually. We have 3 Magi that will be launching shortly, diving into this one shortly as well. We have Hollow Pact, just got my first play of it, but I do want more plays, so I'll be diving into it from the creators of Beast. It's a 1 vs many game, which I guess you could argue Beast is a 1. It's actually not really a 1 vs many game. It's a semi 1 vs many game, because like there's hunters and there's a hunter and a beast kind of going on. It's not Beast, it's just like Beast. But then the hunters don't necessarily have to win in alignment with each other, so you're kind of your own people who can work together. Like, think of it more like The Witcher. Like, you might hunt something down together, but other times you just want to collect the gold for yourself. So it's got that going on for it. Very clever system. We'll talk more about it when I play it more. We have Panda Spin, which is fantastic. I've played it several times this week, and I will be reviewing it at some point, but I guess I already said it's fantastic, so you can skip that review. And then lastly, we have Metal Gear Solid over here. Metal Gear Solid, already got my first. This is not, I know it's a CMON game. I know we have CMON news. That's not why it's here. I happen to have started playing through the tutorials this past week, and I've been enjoying them. So I'm going to be continuing to play through them, and eventually putting out review coverage on it, because we'll have to give you my thoughts. My thoughts are early. I've done the tutorial stuff, so it's very early days. Right now, I like it, at least so far. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. I hope you appreciate this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.